Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're doing something a little bit different. We're diving into a truly breathtaking narrative from a project called The Red Panda, an illustrated life journey. But we're not just going to rattle off facts and figures. No, the source material asks us to do something incredibly immersive. So I want you to picture this with me, okay? Imagine this beautifully hand-drawn, heritage-style documentary world. We're talking deep forest greens, misty mountain blues, and this soft golden sunlight just filtering right through the canopy. We're going to use this explainer to put you directly into that environment. For the next few minutes, you aren't just learning about a red panda. You literally are the red panda.
Okay, let's dive into this. Your journey actually doesn't begin in that vast, misty Himalayan forest. It begins in the dark. You're plunged straight into this warm, incredibly cramped tree hollow, hidden deep within the mountain woods. You can't see those snowy whites or deep greens of the outside world yet. Honestly, your entire universe right now is just the feeling of warm fur and the quiet breathing of your mother in the dark.
Phase 1. Birth and Vulnerability. The journey begins. At this stage, your entire early existence can really be distilled down to just 3 words: warmth, hunger, dependence. As a tiny, blind, and totally helpless cub, you are profoundly vulnerable. You're just huddled up against your sibling, desperately seeking that radiant heat from your mom, while this freezing winter rages just outside the thin wooden walls of your rocky den. You are entirely reliant on her for absolutely every single calorie and every ounce of safety.
And here's the crazy thing. Even though you're blind and you've literally never seen the world, you already possess this incredibly powerful survival instinct. It's an innate, immediate drive. Your tiny body just somehow knows that the world outside this cozy tree hollow is vast, bitter cold, and immensely dangerous. You know, without ever being taught, that leaving the warmth of this nest means perishing. You absolutely must stay hidden.
But while he can't stay in the dark forever, which brings us to part 2, childhood and learning survival, mastering the forest.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how your development happens in these distinct, rapid stages. Step 1. Your blind eyes finally open, and bam, you are introduced to those misty mountain blues and the soft, golden sunlight. Then, step 2, you take your very first trembling steps out onto a mossy branch. It is terrifying, yet totally exhilarating at the same time. And finally, step 3, canopy mastery. Under the super watchful, anxious eye of your mother, you slowly learn to balance, gripping the rough bark and essentially turning the high branches into your own personal playground and sanctuary. As you explore this beautifully illustrated bamboo forest, you're constantly caught in this internal tug-of-war between curiosity and caution. On one hand, you're playful. You want to bat at falling leaves and explore every single inch of the misty canopy. But on the other hand, a snapping twig or a sudden shadow teaches you these harsh, immediate survival lessons. Literally one moment of misplaced curiosity can be fatal. Caution is what actually keeps you alive.
And part of that caution involves knowing exactly what to eat. While bamboo makes up the vast majority of your meals, you're also carefully observing your mom to learn what else sustains life way up high in the canopy. You watch her delicately pick out fruits, berries, insects, and occasionally bird eggs. You're mimicking her every move, basically sharpening your instincts to identify food in a landscape that's slowly shifting with the seasons.
As those seasons shift, so do the stakes. Chapter 3, Danger in the Wild, Survival Struggles.
And this brilliantly illustrates the brutal reality of your situation. The ecosystem you inhabit is undeniably breathtaking, but it's also entirely unforgiving. You constantly have to look over your shoulder. You're evading formidable predators like snow leopards prowling the snowy slopes, agile martens navigating the branches right alongside you, and sharp-eyed birds of prey circling the skies. Add to that the growing, invisible threat of humans and habitat loss, and wow, the pressure to survive is immense and absolutely unding.
Let's look at how this pressure compounds over time, particularly during the harsh winter. It starts with the first frost. Almost overnight, the abundance of summer vanishes, leading directly into a severe food shortage. Suddenly, every single calorie burned searching for sparse bamboo becomes a massive risk. Then comes the true test, surviving a blinding Himalayan blizzard, relying entirely on your thick tail as a blanket. It's only if you endure that gnawing hunger and deep exhaustion that you finally reach the relief of the spring thaw.
But listen, even in spring, danger is just a heartbeat away. One misstep, one broken branch. Just imagine leaping for what looks like a sturdy bamboo stalk, only to hear a sharp crack. You plummet, you're scrambling wildly, claws tearing at the bark, and you barely manage to catch a lower branch before falling to the forest floor below. It is a terrifying near-death experience that burns a permanent lesson right into your memory. The balance of life in these mountains is just unbelievably fragile.
Having survived those trials of youth, you step into Chapter 4, Adulthood and Responsibilities, Wild Responsibilities.
And the most profound realization of this new stage? You are doing it alone. You're a solitary creature now. You spend your days carefully marking your territory with scent glands, sending out these invisible messages to others. But day to day, you navigate the profound, echoing loneliness of this vast wilderness as one lone survivor. Your survival is now entirely in your own paws.
But look at how far you've come. The trembling days of desperate survival have given way to effortless canopy mastery. You don't tremble on the branches anymore. Now you effortlessly navigate the highest treetops. You know exactly where to search for seasonal food, and you possess the strength and the confidence to fiercely defend your space from rivals.
Your adulthood is really marked by these major life milestones. You've claimed your territory. Guided by instinct and scent, you break your solitude just briefly to find a mate. And then, you take on the heaviest responsibility of all, raising cubs of your own. You feel this profound emotional weight of passing on the exact survival skills, the caution, and the canopy mastery that your own mother taught you. So, the crucial point is this: the cycle begins again. All your struggles, the freezing storms you've weathered, the predators you've evaded, it all culminates in the immense sacrifice and sheer determination required to protect this next generation. You are literally ensuring that the heartbeat of your species continues in these misty mountains.
But time in the wild spares no one. We arrive at Chapter 5, a natural ending. The final winter.
The physical toll of a long, arduous life in the mountains really begins to show. What were once these effortless soaring leaps between branches become slower climbs. Your once unbreakable hold on the bamboo stalks turns into weaker grips. The territory that you used to proudly patrol now feels impossibly vast, and the daily search for food leaves you deeply, deeply exhausted. It's a really stark contrast. The frantic energy and desperate hustle of your youth, they're gone, replaced by the quiet peace of age. You find yourself spending much more time just resting. You seek out the sun-warmed branches you've known for years. You sit peacefully among the familiar trees in your favorite feeding areas, simply watching the forest breathe around you. And as your final winter approaches, you find a quiet hollow, much like the one where your journey actually began. You close your eyes to the misty forest canopy. This cinematic journey comes full circle. In the quiet, hand-drawn beauty of this wilderness, you let go, returning your energy to the earth that sustained you through every single storm and every single sunrise.
Which brings us to a final question I really want to leave you with today. After mentally walking through this beautifully illustrated, completely brutal reality, after feeling the vulnerability, the mastery, the loneliness, and the sacrifice, what legacy will you leave in the Misty Mountains? The source material we covered today doesn't just show us an animal's life. It connects us to the universal struggle for survival and for meaning. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer journey, and I genuinely hope you walk away with a profound new perspective on the wild.